Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jill. Thanks, everybody. I can't say how much of an honor it is to be here today. My name is Andrew Pedtke. I'm an orthopedic surgeon in the San Francisco Bay Area. For those of you who don't know us, LIM Innovations is a prosthetic and orthotic device design and data company. We help amputees function with greater comfort and control, and we believe for the disabled community that wearable tech and digital health has a very bright future to solve other future unmet challenges. With me is Dan McMullan. Dan also comes from Berkeley, but with a name like McMullan, he's here to tell you about his proud Scottish heritage. We'll get to that in a little bit. Dan is also a right above the knee amputee, suffered a right above knee amputation in a motorcycle accident approximately 30 years ago. And over the last 30 years, Dan has struggled through lots of different challenges with prosthetic socket technology, particularly in this area of comfort and control. Can we go back to the screen? Anyway, I'll show you some of the examples. What I've got here in my hand is a conventional prosthetic socket. On the left side, you can see. This is essentially what amputees have been wearing for the last several years and decades, and what's been the standard in the industry. This is the infinite socket from LIM Innovations that we provided to Dan approximately 9 months ago, and he's been wearing it ever since. And instead of me talking more and more about the technology, I'd like to hear from Dan exactly what are the challenges with comfort and control from your perspective? It's really...
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that what I got from the socket most of all was that it extended my day. I have like a longer day now. I'm a commissioner in Berkeley, and I'm also working with homeless people and disabled people. And I would find, like, after I put this socket here is actually my socket. It was the last socket that I owned before this one. And when I would put this on, I would be stuck in this for the entire day. And, if I had an itch, I couldn't scratch it. Here I can scratch an itch. If I had, if it wasn't fitting right, well, it's like a brick. It's solid. It's not going to fit any different than it's fitting right now. And the problem is that when they make these legs, they cast them, and then it takes 2 or 3 months to get it. And when you get it, you put it on, and it might fit, it might not fit. But when you do put it on, it's guaranteed that you're going to shrink in the socket. And when you shrink in the socket, you just rattle around in it until your insurance pays for another socket. And that could be 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the condition of your leg. And so that was the problem I was having. And with this, I just put it on in the morning and tighten it on. And it's like getting refit for a leg every day.
So Dan, what you're describing here is pretty common. The traditional socket is really a rigid solution to a dynamic problem. So from a very simple standpoint, orthopedic surgeons are simple people. Bone broke, me fix, strong as an ox, half as smart. So just to give you guys an idea on what we're doing from a digital health standpoint, we collected hundreds of data points from residual limbs of amputees, and over the last couple of years, we've been deconstructing and identifying the way to build it up and provide a modular, adjustable solution for amputees, using all sorts of different types of technologies, whether it's custom 3D printed parts, whether it's thermoformable carbon fiber struts, whether it's wearable, soft good adjustable technology. But try not to get too much into the tech. I think, Dan, what people really want to hear is a real story where this made a huge impact on your life. How do we know what happened to you after you left that prosthetic clinic?
Well, it's interesting because every year I go with my children. I have 2 boys and my wife, Katie, she's right there. Every year we go to the Scottish Games. And this year I went to the Scottish Games, and I was running around with my kids, and we had gotten, usually towards the end of the evening, on like the 3rd day, we camped there. They have like a big war, and we fight the Roman cohorts and the Clan McMullan with the foam weapons. And it's kind of fun, but usually within a couple hours, I kind of check out. I make my apologies, and I go back to camp because I'm just feeling really, a lot of stress and pain from the artificial leg. And this year, like I was telling Andy, I was like, the sun was going down. I was playing with my kids, and I was thinking, what is different this year than all the other years that I've been out here? And then, you know, I couldn't put my finger on it, but then when we were walking back, we're all like cheering and everything and laughing, and then it hit me that I had never actually walked back at the end of this with everybody. Usually I'm waiting for everyone to come back from being out there all day and listening to their stories about the big victory or the big defeat or whatever it was that they had, you know, the mock battle or whatever it was. And this year, I actually came in with everybody. And I actually had a story to tell with the rest of the group around the fire that evening when I spent the entire night out with them. So I thought that was really neat. That, you know, it just made my life, it brings so much more into my life with my kids. I thought that was really neat.
So that's a fantastic story, and it does deserve applauses. I mean, I can't tell you how... I can't say how important it is for you to articulate that, not just to me, but to the audience. Dan is a real person. He is not going to the Scottish Games to throw logs. He's not going to the Scottish Games to climb trees. And you see a lot of media around amputees swimming the English Channel and things like that. But that's the exception, not the rule. It's a vulnerable population. Disability as a whole, not just amputees, is a pathology of experience, of living in a world developed by people with 2 arms and 2 legs that are able-bodied, and the challenges around that. And communicating those challenges is the foundation upon which orthopedic surgeons, prosthetists, rehab doctors base their medical decision-making. So what does this mean from a digital health standpoint? Well, where we're going with LIM Innovations is bringing digital health to a real-time, patient-centered platform, collecting the data and making it actionable for patients and clinicians, so that not only do we understand what Dan experiences after he leaves the orthotic prosthetic clinic, not only do I understand from my patients after I put together the bones and send them out what their life is like, but also allowing them to engage and better interact with those devices for meeting unmet medical needs we may not even understand could be addressed. And I think that's really why we believe so strongly in how digital health, and in particular, the wearable tech, belongs incredibly, fits very well in the orthopedics and prosthetics and rehabilitation and disability space.
Absolutely.
So thank you. I appreciate everybody for
being here. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I'm Asa. This is Marco. And this is Fatima. Fatima is a mother of 3. She lives in Olmes in rural Morocco. She is 1 out of 7,000 people in this little village up in the mountains in rural Morocco. They live at 4,000 feet above sea level. It is freezing cold when we arrive. And the clinic doesn't have a functioning heating system. The power is going on and off, and the patients and the community health workers are dressed in layers and layers of clothes and blankets. In this environment, women are giving birth. It's cold, there's no running water in labor and delivery, and there's no paper tissue to wipe the babies with. We come to Olmes with a mission, and our mission is pretty simple. We just want to show that you can provide state-of-the-art diagnostics without a physician on site. We want to prove that we can do it at the same or better quality, at a lower cost, and faster than it's normally done. So better, faster, cheaper. So what we do is we bring a portable imaging device, an ultrasound device, to capture the images. We bring a cell phone to transmit the images, and a cloud solution for remote reviewing and diagnostics. During 3 weeks, we scan 575 women in 3 villages. The images are sent to Casablanca, Fez, and Paris for a diagnosis. And why is this important? It's important because 800 women die every day within an hour from giving birth. Most of them actually bleed to death. Children become motherless, families are broken, and they can no longer support their families.
Oh, yeah, I'm all right.
And actually, it's assumed that 70% of these women could actually be saved if they had access to diagnosis.
Okay.
So, we wanted to show you a little video clip directly from Ulmes in rural Morocco. This is Dr. Katouf telling you guys about his experience. So, what did we learn? Well, we learned that we could actually cut the time for a mother, expecting mother to get a diagnosis from 2 weeks to under 24 hours. We learned that we could take the cost down from $80 to $2 per patient. But we also learned that 16% of these pregnancies were high-risk pregnancies that could not have been detected if it wasn't for the ultrasound technology and the remote expertise. But what if?
So what if, is my mic on? You guys hear me? What if we take this to a global level? What if 215,000 women don't have to die every year from pregnancy-related complications? Giving birth should not be a matter of life or death. What if 750 children can have a better chance at life and grow up under the care of their moms? United Nations Millennium Goals are to reduce these death rates by 50%. It goes back to access. We talked about that. Access to diagnosis is key here. The technicians in Morocco had never used ultrasound before. Yet after only 4 hours of training, they learned how to use the device. They learned how to capture the images necessary for diagnoses. And within about a couple of weeks, the diagnostic quality of the images that they captured has gone up from 10% to an amazing 92%. That's huge. So let those guys do the scanning and let the cloud doctor do their remote diagnoses. The technology that was used in Morocco has since been much more advanced. Today, all you need is IVIS integrated with Tricify and tethered to your smartphone so you can send the data up to the cloud. It's really that simple. One, the local technician does the exam using their connected medical visualization solution to capture the images. Two, the images are transferred securely and encrypted, HIPAA compliant, to the Tricify cloud sharing platform. Three, the physician remotely connects and potentially within minutes can read and make a diagnosis and do the report. Four, the local technician can then have a consult with their patient, relaying the physician findings with the best care path for them. Empowering clinicians and patients to take the best decision and have a safer pregnancy. Empowering clinicians and patients. You guys all know the potential of this could be huge. With over 150,000 ambulances only in developed countries, what if the paramedic can assess the acute condition of their patient with help from the remote physician and potentially act on it while in transport, or prepare the hospital staff for the incoming patient? You guys know, every minute counts. And what if 1 million GPs go from tapping on the liver and listening to it to make a diagnosis to picking up their mobile device, seeing through the body and making diagnoses? Huge difference. Huge difference. We're talking about improved outcomes and economic efficiencies. The patient at home would rather stay at home, be cared for at home, not have to go to the hospital if it's not necessary. Home healthcare is on the rise. Internationally, doctors are making more and more home visits. What if that doctor's bag can do more than just listen to the heart? Economic efficiencies and better outcomes. What if? Thank you.
Thank you.
At Philips, we have a mission to improve the lives of 3 billion people annually by the year 2025. It's a commitment that each and every team member at Philips takes very, very seriously. One such patient is Clare Wineland, who has cystic fibrosis. Claire's experiences the benefits of our health technology daily, and she has been for years. She recently participated in the Philips Breathless Choir project, where we brought together people affected by respiratory issues to train with a world-renowned director. It was a dream that many people with the disease never thought possible. Claire is the founder of Clare's Place Foundation, a nonprofit organization that helps families and children with cystic fibrosis. So without further ado, here's a video of the Breathless Choir project, followed by a live feed of Clare. Video of, there it is.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be that. Let's do the first page. 2, 3, and 1. Every breath you take. All through human history, people have sung and made music because it makes you feel better about yourself, it makes you feel better about your fellow man. It comforts, it consoles, it amuses, and it's so simple. It's just you and your voice and your breath. Off you go. It's like some very strange yoga session, this, isn't it? Just breathe when you want to, and come back in. Maybe you don't trust your breath. You know, I get that feeling because of all those issues. So when you breathe, you twinkle is what I got. I didn't get that twinkle, twinkle. I feel like I can trust the muscles.
These muscles aren't working as well because they're short of breath, and so they limit their activity and they become deconditioned. So now they got a double whammy, but the respiratory muscles could be exercised by singing. That's only going to improve their capacity. For them to do it, they need to believe in it. And when they see others participating in doing that, that is infectious.
Music can help people, even in dire circumstances, to feel better about themselves, feel better about each other.
There's something sweet about accomplishing something incredible with people that you can relate to and that you genuinely care about.
You know, usually I'm attached to a tank that doesn't move. So the fact that I can take this with me when I'm sick and maybe do a little bit of what I want to do is phenomenal.
To simply go could actually help improve the quality of life of these patients when they are given that freedom, that they don't have a ball and chain that they're stuck with.
Oh, can't you see? You know, I am no doctor, but I see the impact that music has made on these people's lives this week and how much good singing has done them in their souls, and I think a little bit in their bodies as well.
It not only helps the people who are in the choir, but it also sort of spreads the light.
I'll be watching you.
All right!
Right, yeah!
Seats. Okay, good.
Okay, Claire, take it away.
Hi.
Can everybody hear Claire?
We're good? Yeah? Okay, good. I hope I'm not talking too long or skipping too much. So my name is Daoura, as you just heard. I'm 18 years old. I have something called cystic fibrosis, and I was part of this choir, which is incredible. For those people who don't know, cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease that causes an overload of mucus to accumulate in the body, right? And it causes different organs. It causes infections, things like that. Not very fun. CF is also so it means as you get older, CF gets worse. And the life expectancy isn't really anything to brag about. When I was born, it was around 10 years. Then it moved to 3. Now it's, no, then it was 18, and now it's around 2. But the sad truth is that how healthy you are and how long depends entirely on people. And that factor is how much you put into your own treatment, you put into keeping yourself healthy. I do 4 hours a week. That is insane amount. I feel like put that in perspective. Everyone, that's like doing 4 hours of recreation. Like that's not something that's fighting. So when you put so much energy into staying alive and so much energy into going, you easy to forget what you're fighting, what you're fighting. So the real CF isn't necessarily, being able to survive. And this is for many illnesses. It's not just surviving. How do you find a balance in doing what you love, living a life that you're happy with, and surviving? And that is what and I think that's part of everyone. I mean, the incredible innovators, engineers, scientists, and all that, you guys put the time and into enhancing the quality of life abilities like myself and countless others. It's not just you making a piece of breathing equipment. It's you telling us that our lives can be incredible and that we can do something with our lives. We can make something incredible happen. And I can't tell you how important that is. When I was 11 years old, I went into horrendous life. Wasn't very fun. When I came out of it, my lungs were severely damaged. So I had to be on oxygen. And I had this huge hope that, I had to laugh around me and it made me doing what I love. But in spite of that, my mom, dad, and I started a foundation for families living. And then when I was 14, I started doing public speaking. And flash forward to 5 incredible years of traveling and adventures and and here I am. I can say that I never stood in the way of me living my life. And that's not because of anything special, because I couldn't afford to not love myself. Living a life without passion is not one that's pushing to do 4 hours of breathing treatments a day. So where does innovation come from? Well, because of products like Philips Simply Go Mini and all of the incredible advancements that we've made to respiratory care, that I am able to run a foundation, and that foundation is countless and countless of other people. It's because of conditions like that I am able to find a balance between doing what I love and healthy. And I am so lucky to live in a time, I'm so lucky to live in a time where we can chase our dreams and not have to worry about how it affects our health, how it's going to affect our quality. I know I'm going over some forever all of this, but I think the one thing that's important, one point that I really is that you really can live a life if you let yourself. Notice how amazing, it can push you to do incredible things, push you to climb mountains and oceans and all of that, no matter who your lung function, you let it. And my time in the really reminds me how beautiful and supportive you guys follow our energy, to give them a say over how our lives are gonna. Just because we're sick, we can't live incredible lives. And so I thank you from my heart for everything that Philips has done, innovation and technology has done for me, that I really can go out and make the most of the night. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Claire. I think, I don't know if we caught all of that with Claire because of the transmission, but Claire's 18 years old. And I think you could see by the look on her face, the quality of life that she's leading, the difference that we can make in people's lives by making technology that lets them live a full life, a fuller life. That's what this is all about. As technology gets smaller and smarter, we're able to give people who at one point in time, 5, 10 years ago, weren't able to live a life like this. You can just tell by the smile on her face. Thank you. Thanks, Claire.